Welcome to Sunday School, November 22nd, 2020. I'm Carrie Shin, and this is, what's your name? Dylan Shin, my granddaughter. She's almost 6 and she's in kindergarten. I think many of you remember her. So today we're going to hear a story about a greedy man. Do you know what greedy is, Dylan?
No.
It's when somebody wants everything and they just can't get enough. Like maybe they have 1,000 shoes in their closet. Okay, so that's a greedy. All right. First of all, though, would you please turn the, light the candle. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so I see that we have our gold nugget box here, and Dylan's going to see what's inside of it. What is it? Very good. Oh, it's a big one. Okay, so let's flatten it out so we can show everybody at home. It says, "The Spirit of the universe provides all I need." The Spirit of the universe provides all I need. So, Dylan, I have a question for you. Do you remember what you got for Christmas last year? You don't? You don't remember anything that you got last year?
Okay, I remember one.
Okay, what?
Crybaby.
Crybaby. Okay, I do remember Crybaby. But the thing of it is that we don't always remember all the things we have. And we don't necessarily need to focus just on things because the Spirit of God is always in us. All right? So we're going to read a story now, and the story is called The Greedy Gambler. Ooh. Do you know what a gambler is, Dylan?
No.
It's someone who makes a bet with somebody. Someone who says, "I bet you this," or "I bet you you can't beat me in a running race," or something like that. Okay, so Dylan, get your lizards out, because the lizards are part of the story. So this is called Little Lizard Sorrow. And this is a tale from Vietnam, which is a country far, far away on the other side of the world. In many parts of Asia, there are little lizards that scurry amongst the bushes and the grasses, and even up and down the walls of houses, Dylan.
Oh.
This little lizard can be heard making a soft tisk, tisk, tisk sound. That's how come you know the lizards are around, right? They make the tisk, tisk sound as it runs around. There's a story about why this little lizard sounds so distressed and sad. There was once a rich gambler who had more things than he even ever needed. Sorry, I'm looking for my story here. But he just couldn't stop his collection of possessions. He always wanted more, more, more. Instead of buying more things, however, he figured out a way of tricking people to get them. The gambler would challenge some poor, unexpected person to a bet. "I'll bet my best silk robe that I own any object you can name," he said. Tempted by the thought of winning a beautiful silk robe, the other person would bet something that they owned. "I'll bet my fanciest tea set that you don't own a pair of solid gold chopsticks," the person might say. But of course, the gambler would have a pair of solid gold chopsticks because he was so wealthy. Then he would gleefully take the fancy tea set away from the bettor. He played this game for years, never losing a bet. Everyone in the region learned to avoid the greedy gambler because everyone had lost something to his scheme. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Very good, Dylan. The gambler had acquired so many possessions that he had to build another house onto his big estate. Workers were busily hammering and sawing when a visitor dressed in a poor, rough tunic approached. The visitor stood calmly in front of the surprised gambler and said, "You are famous for your shrewd ways. Would you be interested in a bet with a simple man?" "What would a man like you have to bet? Your begging bowl?" scoffed the gambler. The visitor looked deeply into the gambler's eyes as he said, "I will bet the only thing that I appear to own, myself. And I will bet against everything that you appear to own." Who do you think's gonna win, Dylan? "Do you mean that if I win, you will be my slave?" the gambler asked. And if you win and I lose, then I have to give you everything I own?" asked the astonished gambler. "That is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. But I will take your bet." Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now, the visitor had to think of some object that his gambler would not have among his pile of possessions. He pondered this carefully before he said, "My bet is that you do not own a chipped cup. A cup with a piece out of it." And the gambler searched and looked through all of his things, and guess what? He only had perfect china and potteryware cups. He had gold cups, silver, crystal, even plain china cups, but not one of them was chipped. A rich, smart man like him would never drink from a chipped cup. He would never allow it. When he realized that he had lost the bet, the gambler sat on the ground, too stunned to even cry. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The visitor told the workers to spread the word. Everyone who had lost a bet to this gambler should come to his estate and take back what they lost. As everything was taken away, the gambler sat talking to himself. Tisk, 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 how could such a terrible thing happen? Tisk, 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 all is lost. Tisk, 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 how could this happen to me? The visitor walked down the road with the only thing he appeared to own, himself. And where once the sad gambler sat talking to himself, there was a small lizard scurrying through the grass saying, "Tisk, tisk, tisk." So what do you think happened to the gambler? I wonder if he turned into a lizard. So let's look back at our affirmation again, which says, "The spirit of the universe provides all I need." That's right. What's that word? Dylan's learning to read. So, bottom line here, kids, is God teaches us that we don't need to long for so many belongings and things and toys and candy, that everything we need is inside ourselves and we just need to pay attention to it. So we're going to stop now for a minute, and then I'm going to show you how you make these little cute lizards. Okay, so we have our craft supplies out here. You should have most of this at home in your supply kit that we gave you. And I'm using craft foam. You may not have this, but green construction paper will work perfectly. And you're just gonna cut out a little tail. And then you're gonna cut out 2 legs. And you can see these are mine, they're not all that expert, but they're kind of cute. And 2 arms. And then a little head, almost like a snake's head. And you should have some googly eyes in your craft kit. So you just glue everything on to a popsicle stick. And you could put a little handle on it like we did if you want. Okay? So hopefully you'll have fun making these lizards at home with your mom and dad. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Okay, so we have our craft supplies out here. You should have most of this at home in your supply kit that we gave you. And I'm using craft foam. You may not have this, but green construction paper will work perfectly. And you're just gonna cut out a little tail. And then you're gonna cut out 2 legs. And you can see these are mine, they're not all that expert, but they're kind of cute. And 2 arms. And then a little head, almost like a snake's head. And you should have some googly eyes in your craft kit. So you just glue everything on to a popsicle stick. And you could put a little handle on it like we did if you want. Okay? So hopefully you'll have fun making these lizards at home with your mom and dad. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Bye.